Hi, and welcome to my presentation on numeracy in science and how our falling numeracy rates are having an effect on scientific inquiry and the skills involved in that. So numeracy is all about using maths in situations. We're talking scientifically. It's using maths to make inferences. It's using maths to evaluate risk. It is, navigating the world around you, and it starts when you're a baby and goes all the way through until adulthood. Within the curriculum, it's using those skills purposely to solve a scientific problem. So the problem that we're facing is that students are not able to use statistics, with statistics being a part of numeracy, to critically analyze sources of information. You can see this with vaccine hesitancy and the way that the media reports on this. People tend to freak out without really actually truly understanding the information. Scientific inquiry process, it's steeped in data. And also knowing how to interpret the data that you get from experimentation and knowing how to actually design an experiment that will give you meaningful data as well. So it does work both ways. So when we're talking about mixing numeracy into the curriculum, interpreting statistical information is one of the main parts of the science curriculum. Students should be able to collect, display, and compare information. So students should be able to not only collect it, look for trends and patterns, and actually analyze what the data is telling them. But what does this mean? So the literature review that I did showed that the decreasing numeracy rates affects high school graduates when they're heading into university. Students are less likely to be able to discern between good and bad statistics or relevance of statistics, which it can also affect their risk profile. Things as simple as mean, median, mode, and range were used in 50% of science experiments that were conducted, and students were struggling with those, which is what we learn in grade 7. As I said previously, scientific experiments must be planned to get good data from them, not just be able to analyze the data that you're given. When this was flipped and numeracy was taught as a form of critical thinking, students were able to critique real-world statistics, which allowed them to develop higher levels of critical thinking skills. So the big curriculum drivers with regards to this are globalism. So students need to be able to analyze and evaluate data surrounding global issues, climate change being a big one of those. It also forms a big part of the senior biology curriculum. So, students are exposed to massive amounts of data given the ICT that they have available to them, and the fact that there is huge amounts of data sharing now between all countries. So the curriculum was and is still being updated. 2023, I think, is the next update. And now it's being updated to reflect the realities of the real world or the rest of the world. So by improving students' understanding of statistics, we know that we can improve the scientific outcomes of the country as a whole, not just of the individual students. Numeracy and statistical understanding, again, directly related to critical thinking. Scientific inquiry, Australia does not have a lot of manufacturing, so we rely on research in that sector to bring up the economy. So trying to match the rest of the world with the way that we do things. So there's a few issues that relate to Indigenous students catering to their numeracy needs. They require a lot of hands-on learning. Things need to be culturally relevant. Things that are relevant to me or other students that are not Indigenous might not necessarily be relevant to them. A lot of culture, family, reflection, storytelling, rather than just here's the maths, do the work, as often is the case in maths classrooms. So maths and science are intrinsically linked. Then, to be successful in one, you have to have the other. Probability and statistics are by far the most important. Increased numeracy leads to increased critical thinking. And Indigenous students face various challenges that non-Indigenous students may not. And that needs to be factored in when we are designing lessons. Thank you.